Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. This one is again a little bit of a different one. So I talk mostly about productivity apps and I rate productivity apps and even planners like the Traveler's Notebook, which I bring with me everywhere I go. But today I am going to talk about why productivity apps doesn't necessarily make you more productive, why they don't actually work, and there are several reasons behind this. The first one is a problem that I have had a lot, and that is both system switching and app switching. So this tends to happen to me every time I feel like I'm not productive enough, or it feels like my life is falling apart when I have too many things to do. I tend to end up switching note-taking apps or to-do list apps or even planners in order to try and find the perfect system and make me more productive. So I feel like I am not able to do all of the things I want to simply because the app isn't good enough or it is not quote unquote perfect. And there is no such thing as a perfect app. There are good apps, there are great apps, but no one app is perfect, at least not for me or for you, because they are trying to hit a market of a lot of people, and we all are different, so you won't be able to find the perfect note-taking app or the perfect to-do list app or the perfect planner or the perfect system. It does not exist, unfortunately. We just have to try to create ourselves the best system possible. And a lot of the time when we feel overwhelmed, at least I did, when I felt overwhelmed, instead of starting doing my work, I procrastinated with instead trying to make my system perfect, trying to make my note-taking app perfect or my to-do list app perfect. And I found that a lot more fun than doing the actual work, which I know a lot of people feel because we have productivity as our hobby and we tend to spend a lot of times in those apps, and it is just easier to do something you find really fun than actually doing the work you have been dreaded for weeks or months or days or how long it might have been for you. It is just so simple to, instead of actually doing the work, to customize your note-taking app, because we believe that it will make us more productive, but what it actually is productive procrastination. And as I've said many times before, there are some times in your life where it isn't about you not doing enough. It is actually about you doing too much. And that's where a system like bullet journaling comes in quite handy. And even though it didn't work for me, I am really glad I did it, because whenever you feel really, really overwhelmed over time, it is time to check out your to-do list, check out all of the things you're doing, and ask yourself if all of these things are things you actually want to do. So I tend to ask myself three questions. The first one is, do I want to do this? If not, the second one is, do I have to do this? If not, the last one is, does this push me towards my goal? If the answer to all of these three are no, then it is simple. I will not do it. So, for example, I do not want to fill out my taxes or the taxes for my businesses, but I have to. I do not have a choice, so I will need to sit down and actually do the accounting and actually send in my taxes every single year, which sucks, but that's just how life is. But the other thing is that I often tend to do things just because I've done them for such a long time without them actually helping me towards my goals. So I'm not like a productivity person who never watches TV or never play video games, but I actually do not like watching movies. I do not find that fun. However, I find it really fun to watch football matches for a whole day, or any kind of sports actually. If it's Formula One or if it's boxing, I watch everything, but I don't watch movies. But I used to watch a lot of movies because they were hyped up, because people told me that I should watch movies, and I got into the habit of watching a movie every single week without it giving me anything in return. That's when the question, do I actually want to do this, comes in. I didn't actually want to do that, so I had to move it out of my schedule. I had it scheduled every Friday I would watch a movie. Now I don't do that anymore. One thing I do instead is that I journal, not for the productivity, but simply because I find it fun. I love writing. I've always loved writing. And at some point, there is just too much to do. No productivity app will get you out of that. There is just too much to do. You have to stop doing as much as you're doing right now, and no one wants to hear that. We want to be able to do everything, and we want to compare ourselves to others, and we see all of these YouTubers or all of these people around us that are doing so much, and we want to be able to do exactly the same. But not everyone is equal, and at some point you will have to decide for yourself. Either you stop procrastinating and you stop spending your time inside of a note-taking app, inside of a to-do list app, inside of a manager, even though you find that part really fun and you will have to sit down and do the actual work, or you have to cut down on your work to spend more time customizing your system. I do not believe in customizing your system too much, because I believe that you will only end up breaking your system. I believe in some chaos, because I tend to thrive in some chaos. You have to figure out how much chaos you can have before your whole life falls apart. But some chaos is probably good. If the system is too strict, you won't be able to maintain it. However, for people like me who love productivity and love productivity apps and find that really fun, I believe in scheduling some time every single week to just try out new note-taking apps and have fun and build new systems. I'm not saying that you should transition over to that system, but I believe in actually spending some time and having fun with it, because most of us who are that into productivity, we find it fun. That's why we do it. And as long as you find it fun, I am a big believer of doing as much as that as possible. But just know that customizing your productivity apps or changing them will not make you more productive. There is no productivity app out there that will actually make you more productive. It will help you remember your tasks, it will help you remember your notes, but you will still have to do the actual work. No app can substitute that, and I wish it could. Maybe in the future with AI it will be possible, but as of right now, no app can actually substitute doing actual work. That should be your first priority. But I would also say that you should spend time getting to know your app of choice and trying to learn it as much as you possibly can, because a lot of these note-taking apps and to-do list apps and project management apps, they have a lot of features. And I have been switching apps a lot. I have actually been able to stick with a couple of apps for a while now, and I will keep on doing that. The only thing I will need to switch is probably, or not necessarily switch, I will need to get myself a to-do list app, because that is not something I have. I use a daily planner, but I need a to-do list app for basic tasks like taking out the trash or writing down a grocery list and stuff like that. So I will be testing out and reviewing a lot of them. And I will still test out a lot of productivity apps, because that's what I make videos about. My main point here is that there is sort of a tax whenever you switch, because it takes so much time moving all of your notes from one note-taking app to another, and also the fact that you have to learn a whole new note-taking app and or to-do list app or whatever kind of app it is, that time you could actually spend working or spend with your family or your friends or whatever you want to do. But just to have that clear, a productivity app will not make you more productive. It will help you become more organized, but you will actually have to do the work to become more productive. That's at least my personal opinion, and everything in this video is based on my personal experiences and my personal opinion. But I thought I would start a discussion about this topic because I know that, or at least I've heard that a lot of people struggle with productivity anxiety or anxiety about productivity apps. I had someone message me a month ago or so and talked about how the person couldn't sleep because the person was only thinking about how he or she could improve the system, the productivity system. And it's not about that. Productivity apps shouldn't be about how you can create the perfect system. It should be a tool to help you stay organized, and then you will unfortunately have to do a lot of the work by yourself. But a productivity app can be a good thing as a companion. Again, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below and I will try to get to them as soon as I can.